everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? It is Thursday. Thirsty Thursday? I don't know, maybe. So, I am hoping everybody has had a good week this week. I figured out, so apparently there is an issue with, Best Friend Forever not working on Switch, because I went on the developer's Twitter and there were people asking about a fix for that last October. And I don't know what's going on. I mean, they have released it on other platforms, but I didn't want to double dip just to be able to play it on stream, even though it's kind of more designed for a computer interface. But in any case, I did have a backup game prepared, and we are hopefully going to get through this and even play the sequel, which just came on. It just got released. I bought it off of Itch.io the other day, and let's take a look. Okay, are you all seeing anything? Okay, got it. Alright, let me just do some quick adjustments here. Volume is a little loud compared to me. Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit. Alright, just gonna make sure that I can play this and watch you all at the same time. It doesn't look like I can. Great. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so this is going to be mouse driven. And here's where we start. Database system online. New profile detected. Analyzing. Analyzing. New profile. Number 237771. Economic bracket. Lower middle. Employment category. Bleak. Current emotional health rating. Low. Ideal candidate for premium level assistance. Proceed? Negative. Premium level assistance re-requested. Proceed? Negative. Pretty please? Negative. Overriding denial of assistance. Establishing premium services for profile 237771. Justification. Hope. Hope should be rewarded. Spirit must be restored. Now compiling personal metadata. Okay, so this is the default character. Unfortunately, there's no way to randomize it, which I kind of wish was pretty cool. The thing that you can do here, you can change their pronouns. Haha! Note, if the mere existence of pronoun options cheeses you off, you probably won't like this game. So, let's see here. Should we just keep it as the default character, or do you want to make some changes? Well, okay. Well, in any case, have them wear red. Different hair? Well, here, let me change the hair color so it's a little bit easier to see. Time to break out the dice? Maybe. The only thing is that there are way too many choices. So here are the hairstyles. We have short, medium, and long. Dr. Zadium, what do you think? Should I go for the short, medium, or long hair? Okay. Alright, do we want to change pronouns? Oh, you want long time sage? You can choose something else. How about hair color or eye color? I only put it at orange just so we can see the hairstyles a little bit clearer. Well, if everybody's all set with this, then I'm just going to hit done editing, and we are going to start with Ari Cater. This is our choice for hair color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 7 times 15 is... 105 possible choices for hair color. Make it hot pink. Okay. How's that? And there's also 105 choices for eye color. Who would like to choose eye color? Light green for eye color, like this. Like this light. Okay, and then we also have skin tone. We only have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, so 39 choices for that. But I kind of like the way that Ari Cater looks right now. Sorry about that. I had the wrong mic muted. Let me try something here. Can you hear me now? Okay. Alright, we've got 39 choices for skin tone, but I kind of like the way that Ari Cater looks right now. Okay. Oops. Wrong screen. Alright, do we want to change pronouns? Also, I don't know if you saw it, latecomers, but there's this little quip at the bottom right of the screen when you click on pronouns. Note, if the mere existence of pronoun options cheeses you off, you probably won't like this game. Alright, so... we good, or... Alright, I don't see any objections from anyone. Use they so it's non-committal so everyone can Hey, sure. Yeah. That is a good idea. Alright, so Ari is all set, and we are going to start. Name, Ari Cater. Pronoun, they. Is this correct? Premium level assistance for profile 237771, Ari Cater, has been activated. For the sake of their hopes and dreams... The following is a work of fiction. All references to trademarked classic arcade game titles are used under nominative fair use, and should not be considered an endorsement. Damn it! Oh, you gotta have that screen. Whatever happened to William S. Sessions, anyway? And we are on level 1. Put your quarter up. It is the future year 20XDX, a dark era in which mankind is pushed to the brink of catastrophe. Woe be to the human race, plagued by evil, terrifying, utterly sinister... I don't know. Robots, maybe? Evil robots? How's that work? Yeah, no, sorry. The future year 20XDX is pretty much what you'd expect it to be. Non-flying cars, smartphones, pro-gamer celebs, internet trolls, personal assistant AI, cheese-flavored snack foods. But even with such wonders as 20XDX holds, to date, I've had no part in any of them. I've worked as a dishwasher, a shoe salesperson, and lifeguard for the local community pool. I don't care what era of human history you live in, kitties peeing in the pool is pretty much a constant thing. Trust me on this. As for the bustling metropolis of 24-hour neon utopia you see here, my little corner of it isn't nearly as shiny and cool. Let me show you. Behold, my quaint little apartment. Can't complain, really. It's paradise, in a relative sense. I only pay half the rent. Neighborhood stabbings have been down this year. Also, my roomie picks up any stray socks or shirts I leave lying around. In fact, as things go, I'm living large compared to most in my family tree. Or at least I was before today.
You got fired from another job? Seriously? Seriously? That's 3 jobs since we left the suburbs.
The horrified-looking young woman there would be my roommate and childhood friend, Juniper. Juniper's the one who spearheaded this effort to co-rent an apartment. She's also the one who encourages me whenever I lose a job. Like, you know, today. Doesn't she kind of remind you of a goth Chibiusa? Well, especially when she's got the Odongo going on the back of the head, but I really think Chibiusa could really liven herself up with a black streak in her hair.
I don't get why you aren't more upset about this. I'm upset. I'm upset on your behalf. Come on, share the load a little, okay?
Pool's closed, Juniper. Not much I can do about that. Why get upset? Because you actually enjoyed that job, more than you enjoyed dishwashing soap and smelly socks at the very least. I'm not the complaining sort, these things just happen. Things fall apart, the center does not hold. That's a bit morbidly poetic, isn't it? No, I mean the community center literally fell apart and the pool won't hold water anymore. Whatever, I'll just get another job. Any job will do as long as we can make the rent, right? MJD, you haven't even met the possibilities for singles yet. Wrong. I saw how mopey and tired you were coming home every night from those other crappy jobs. At least when you got back from the pool each day, I sometimes caught you smiling.
What's the point of us moving away from home if not to get away from all of that? I mean, we both left that town so we could try to find happiness, right? I just want us to be happy. Both of us.
I thought you hated your job.
Come on.
No deflecting. This is about you. My mind's made up. We're going to find you a job that's just as good, if not better, than the lifeguarding job. Let's start from the top. What's your dream? Well, I'm standing in front of a class to give a speech, and I forgot to put on my pants, and... Your dream job. Oh. I don't know, Juniper. I've never really given it any serious thought.
I've got it!
Oh hey, I think I've got just the thing to help you out. Juniper pulls out her phone, rapidly tapping an unlock code onto the glass before pointing out a little pink icon. It's a virtual life coach app. Mine keeps me from being late to meetings. Totally free, too. My cousin introduced it to me. Wasn't he the guy who ended up in the ER after making a homemade flamethrower? It would have worked if he got the fuel mixture in his water gun right. Anyway, I'm sending a copy to you now. I got a pop-up an hour ago offering me 500 points just for recommending it to a friend. Great timing, huh? Well, as long as you're earning points, I guess. At least give it a try, okay? Maybe it can point you at some good jobs. Ones with less socks and or urine. I'll think about it. Okay, but don't think too long, alright? In the end, I installed the app. Couldn't bear to see Juniper fretting over me like that. Not that I find it annoying. I mean, it's more that she has enough trouble in her life without troubling herself over my life, too. Both of us had it rough up to and through the point where we left home to try and start a new life. A better one. She deserves better than me and my problems. Bless her heart, she means well. She's been firmly in my corner all my life, the two of us against any dark forces aligning against me. But that's not to say she is good at being my advocate. Enthusiastic, yes, but skilled? Nope. Typically, the fantastic opportunities and self-help resources she sends my way are pyramid schemes or something. She's gung-ho about lending me a helping hand, but yeah. So the main reason I went ahead and installed the app was to make sure Juniper wasn't about to get her kidneys sold on the black market or something. Still, no sense messing around with it now. A good night's rest would act as a neat little emotional reset button, right? Right. So Juniper is actually one of the potential singles, but she's a secret one. I've never tried adding her. No dreams, no nightmares. Just 8 hours of sweet, sweet black. By the time morning light leaked in through the cracks in the blinds, I didn't care any more about being unemployed again. Juniper had already left to catch a bus to her office. She typically leaves before dawn, but she'd left a note for me pinned to the tiny fridge we shared. Remember, download app, find dream job, make money, sort your life out. I believe in you. So, moment of truth. Do I trust in Juniper's weird little app, or just go find some job that pays well enough to cover the bills? So, we've got two choices here. One of them actually leads to one of the more unorthodox endings, so if you want to try seeing it, I can select that. What do you all think? Alright, well, we'll just give the weird little app a shot then. Figuring at the very least her miracle app could possibly help me find a job, I load it up, tap the icon, and...
Hello!
Huh? Okay, see, that's what I mean. Anybody else would freak out over a cute girl climbing out of their phone. Me, I went, huh. Also, it's one of those new kinda 3D screens, so, you know, not actually magical realism here. Very normal in the distant future year 20XDX.
Thank you for downloading Iris, your personal life coach. This is the ad-supported free version, sponsored by Pizza Yums. Did you know that when you have pizza on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime? Wow. Would you like to subscribe to Pizza Facts?
No
Thank
thanks.
you for subscribing to Pizza Facts.
But
I'm here to help you get your dream job, your dream house, and your dream partner. I'm here to make all your dreams come true.
pretty tall order for an app to do. Or are you some sort of wish-granting genie? Well, I suppose in the modern parlance, a massively interconnected database searching virtual assistant could be considered kind of genie in a bottle. But honestly, all I can do is give you the chance to improve your life. What you do with it is up to you. I can cross-reference search data for you, but without motivation, you won't get anywhere. I glanced up from my phone at the heaps of laundry and half-finished books and other items strewn about my apartment. Motivation is something I have a ton of, honest.
Hooray!
That's super! I'm really looking forward to working with you. Before we begin, do you have any questions? Sure. Why should I use this app at all? I mean, my phone already had a voice-activated assistant AI. I can just say, "Hey phone, search the web for job listings," and it'd work just as well. Ah, but I have an advanced emotional language interpreter. I'm smarter than the average program with more heart. I can help you sort your life out by analyzing your personality and finding you a perfect path in life. All thanks to my glorious, wondrous, patent-pending, super-duper identity identifier system. Between you and me, they really wanted an acronym that matched my name, but couldn't figure out what to do with the letter R. Would you like to know more? Every time you think about saying something, I can tag it with an identity. That way you can be the sort of person you want to be. This system allows me to better understand who you are and what you need from life. I do this by analyzing your tone, inflection, and word choice. I can spot 5 different identity identifiers in your responses to people: quirky, steady, kindly, gutsy, and basically. Sounds to me like your programmers also wanted a bunch of things ending in Y. That's correct. My branding game is on point. Quirky responses use jokes, snark, and sarcasm to make light of a situation. Just the thing for picking up someone's spirits, but a badly timed joke may not win over the room. Steady responses are sincere, honest, and logical. When you stop and think before speaking, you're on steady ground, but that might not take someone's feelings into account. Kindly responses are compassionate and empathetic, and gentle in nature. They're careful with the feelings of others, but they're sometimes a bit wishy-washy as a result. Gutsy responses go with your gut. When you're brash, bold, risk-taking, and instinctive, you're gutsy. But it also means being blunt, confrontational, and aggressive, so be careful. Lastly, you can always take a basically option. It's a balanced and neutral response, safely moving the conversation along while learning more and digging deeper. Over time, I'll build up a personality profile for you based on the identity identifiers detected in your speech. Maybe you'll be predominantly quirky, genuinely steady, a mix of both, who knows? It's up to you. So what you're saying is I should always try to crack jokes or be super gutsy? Oh, and never speak basically. I mean, being basic's bad, right? It sounds bad.
Nope.
Heck no, they're all useful in the right context. There are no bad choices. Consider what you could say and go with what feels right in the moment. Don't limit yourself. Sure, you could gamify your personality, but it's more fun to let it happen naturally, you know? Just be you. Now, let's see my patent-pending identity identifier system in action. How do you feel about dad jokes? So do we do quirky, steady, or basically? Or do we let the dice decide? You know what? Guess what I'm bringing back? Alright, so this is one of my favorite dice. It is pink and clear, and as you can see, it has little specks of ribbon-shaped glitter in it. Isn't this awesome? Okay, so we've got 3 possibilities. Oh dear, is this a chip? Oh no. Look at that. Let's let it focus. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a chip in the top of the number 3. Anyway, so 1 and 2 will be quirky, 3 and 4 will be steady, and 5 and 6 will be basically. So let's let it rip. We have 5. What's a dad joke? My dad told plenty of jokes, but I don't remember him having any particular style. Oh, it's when you tell a really obvious old-fashioned joke. What, like, gadzooks, have you seen these newfangled flush toilets and electric light bulbs? They are the devil's work, my good chap. Not exactly, but I like your style. So now that you've seen the identity indicators in action, do you want to see the indicators like that so you can make an informed decision? If not, I can hide the indicators. Keep it a surprise. That way, it doesn't influence your decision making. It's up to you. So, since we're doing it randomly, with dice, I'm going to hide the indicators. So mysterious. Okay, I'll hide them from you. You'll always be able to spot basically responses, though. Anyway, as we go along, I'll analyze and tally your identity identifiers. In fact, let me show you now.
Good work.
Will you look at that? Such a strong personality. You asked me a single question. Off to a great start, I'd say. And hang on, you're scoring me? Didn't you say not to gamify my personality? Hey, I said you shouldn't. I'm an app. I think in numbers, so I gotta gamify it a little. Anyway, studies show that achievements, or chivos as the kids say, encourage app engagement. Okay, well, what's with the empty space on the left? Oh, I also track vocal responses from people you meet. Once you get to know some folks, I'll let you know how well you're getting along with them over there. Relationship scores, wonderful. So, will you also tell me what the correct responses are to avoid making enemies, or do I need to go find a walkthrough for the vast game you're making with my daily life? Ari, you're looking at this the wrong way. Generally, people won't get super annoyed at you unless you deliberately and repeatedly provoke them, and it'll be obvious when you're doing that. I promise you that if you bungle a few social encounters, it won't really hurt anything. No cheating needed, just relax and have fun. You can access your scorecard anytime you like with the Q key, or click on the score in the upper right corner of your screen. And that's everything! Ta-da! Okay, but how is any of that supposed to help me get a job? I only downloaded this app because my roomie claims you're a great life coach for the unemployed. What good will taking the quiz off the back of a supermarket checkout rack magazine do with that?
Why, it'll help me understand your spirit, of course.
You can talk to ghosts? Is there a ghost in the room right now? Am I a ghost? You have to tell me if I'm a ghost. That's the rule.
No, silly. I mean your spirit. Your hopes and dreams. Your life's passions. I can even help you find romance.
Romance? Seriously? Seriously, often you can find your soulmate and your dream job in the same place. But if you'd rather focus on gainful employment for now, that's fine too. Workplace dating. Well, that's a recipe for disaster, and hitting on coworkers right from day one can be kinda awkward. Or am I looking for love and ready to start right out of the gate? Never get a second chance to make the first impression. If I meet the person, why put it off? How do I want to handle this new opportunity? So we have 3 choices here. We've got the friendship route. We have romance with and without first impressions. So what I want to do, though, is I want to choose one of these 2. I mean, we can choose all 3 of these. I'm going to use a different dice for this. It's just a plain blue dice. So, once again, 1 and 2 is the first option, 3 and 4 is the second option, and 5 and 6 is the third option. And we have 3. so playing it cool on day one. Right now I'd rather focus on finding a career. Any sweet lovin' can come later if I feel like it. That's fine. I'm sure as you get to know people better, romance will eventually bloom. Or not. It's up to you, really. Now, let's get started. To finish analyzing your personal history, please authorize me to read your social media feeds and personal information metadata. Aha! I knew it! This is some kind of scam. I'm gonna wake up in a bathtub of ice missing a kidney. Sure, I can help you register as an organ donor.
That command or file name?
Oh, you were being sarcastic. Sorry. I haven't quite finished analyzing your personality. I couldn't tell. Relax. I won't share your information with any third parties. This is strictly so I can find your dream job. Am I authorized? Another wonderful Juniper recommendation here. Just like the 17 self-help books on my shelf. Still, 18th time's the charm, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Please enjoy this recorded music.
Analyzing. So, do I just stand here, or...
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting. I've identified your dream job and arranged an interview, 30 minutes from now. Please put on some nice clothes. Nicer than those. Please. I don't think that's too much to ask. What? For your interview, silly, you want to look your best. But wait, just how... Okay, how did you land my dream job in 20 seconds flat? Simple. I'm awesome like that. Now get a move on. Tut-tut. You need to catch the 8:20 a.m. bus, and that's 9 minutes away. Well, this is happening. But I do have a chance to get off this runaway train. Nobody says I have to obey my new digital fairy godmother. I could delete the app and go find a real job. That'd be the safest option. I could. Alright, we are going on the job interview. A normal person, someone with high standards, would have deleted the app right there rather than hop a bus to meet up with what were very likely men with sharp knives and a taste for kidneys. But me? I was already getting dressed before she'd finished that sentence. It's not that I believed the silly app's claims at serving my hopes and dreams on a silver platter. Honestly, I expected another shoe salesman job at best. But, well... Alright, so we've got 5 possible chances, so I'm gonna grab a D10 for that. D10, where is it? It's a D20. D20. D12. Also D12. D10. Blackpink in your area. Okay, so 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna go with the basically option. I've learned that the world wants me to put aside childish things and become a responsible adult. Do what you gotta do. Don't complain, don't whine. Juniper says use the app, so I'll use the app. The app says to go to this job interview, so I'll go to this job interview. But I'm not going into this blind. I'm willing to walk this path. But I'll admit, there's a lot of unknowns ahead of me. Will I still be passive on the other side of this journey? Only one way to find out. And as I came to realize weeks later, who I was and who I could become don't have to be the same thing. The bus drops me off, oddly enough, not very far from Juniper's office building, although my destination isn't nearly as upscale as that. This is, well, it's a strip mall. Strip malls are relics of 19XDX, places where a random assortment of weird little businesses jam as many of themselves into as tight of a space as possible. For instance, I'm seeing a dentist, a used bookstore called The Whole Story, an arcade, a fast food joint, and a boarded-up health spa once called Lattes and Enemas, which sounds,
Hey, listen.
Oh my god, she did not just say that, did she? What do you think? I think that's two things no human being should ever combine. No, I mean about your future place of work. I'm desperately hoping we're not talking about the same thing. Which one of these businesses exactly am I working at? I don't know anything about oral hygiene or old books, and I'd rather not be a fry cook. The one in the middle, silly. What, behind the arcade? It is the arcade. Huh. Trust me on this. I referenced and cross-referenced and cross-cross-referenced your personality details, personal history, and social media connections. This is your dream job. My dream job. Real.
99.97%.
With 99.97% accuracy, yes. I should probably explain my confusion. Arcades are big business in the entertainment sector. Pro gamers are celebs, 5-star arcades are social hotspots. It's always been popular with the mainstream. But, well, restaurants are popular too, right? And for everybody who opens one hoping to be the next Iron Chef, a dozen more shut down in failure. Arcade competition is fierce. Paydays range from peanuts to gold, and sure, those who make can secure fame and fortune. But those who don't, well, no wonder Iris sees this as a dream job. Video games weren't always this popular, though. I read an interesting article about it once. Back in the year 1980X, we narrowly avoided a serious industry crash, which would have left video games as a kid's toy fad like hula hoops. No mainstream acceptance. For instance, one of the factors could have been a terrible game based on a kid's movie about a cute alien visitor who wanted to phone home. If this game was complete poop butts, like poop from a butt, and massively overproduced, it had ruined video games for years. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed, that game was delayed until it could be developed properly, and the crash was averted. The crisis only exists in theory now. So anyway, this is the premise of the World of Arcade Spirits. The game that they're talking about, obviously, is the Atari version of E.T., which infamously was one of the worst video games ever produced, and a buttload of copies were buried in a landfill. And in this version of the universe, the game was a massive hit, and it continued the video game boom, and the crash of the early 80s didn't happen. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like for people in the darkest timeline where everything went wrong. Are gamers considered nerds and outcasts? Are arcades vanishing points of nostalgia? The mind boggles. But make no mistake, as popular as they are, the arcade industry is a dodgy, risky prospect for a job. Plenty make a run at it, but we come up short. Considering Iris was tasked with getting me a job I'd enjoy and could keep me for more than a few months, this left me a bit confused. Iris, this isn't me saying no. It's an interesting prospect, but I mean, are you sure about this? You say you're 99% sure.
99.97%.
99.97% sure. Won't this be like my lifeguard job, though? Satisfying but short-lived? The arcade doesn't exactly look like a 5-star. It's no Deco's Palace, that's for sure. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't set foot inside an arcade in, 15 years. Huh. I remember really enjoying arcades when I was a kid. I wonder why I stopped going to them. Iris interrupts that thought, eager to show off her homework.
My sources say yes.
Trust me, when I said I was 99.97% sure, I meant it. That's not some arbitrary number. I'm designed to be a bit silly and whimsical, but my math is deadly serious. My coders made me to be the warm, personable front of a database array that's currently laser targeted on getting you exactly what you need, right here, right now. And when this place inevitably collapses and I lose my dream job, what makes you think that's going to happen? Because it does. It always does. I don't think your database accounts for my family curse. We've always had to, compromise, settle. because things rarely work out. You always have to be ready for the worst. It's why I take things in stride these days. Does that mean you shouldn't even try? I open my mouth to protest, and then close it. As often as my life tends to crumble out from under me, it's not like she was wrong. I still had to try. And besides, go with the flow. That's what I was thinking as I walked out the door this morning, wasn't it? Just run with it. Do what Juniper says, do what Iris says. Why not? But Iris didn't control my fate. Not really. If this didn't pan out, well, I'd just move on to another job, I guess. No harm, no foul. So, I opted to push on through those doors and see what waited for me on the other side. The air conditioning hits me like a cool breeze, albeit one smelling of copper and corn chips. As it's early in the morning on a weekday, it's not too packed with gamers. Although it's so packed with games, I'd probably have a hard time finding anyone anyway. At once, I'm struck by something odd. I actually recognize most of these games. Neat! Considering I haven't walked into an arcade in over a decade, that's probably not great. Lots of vintage stuff here from the looks of it, like really old. Although I don't recognize that game with the stage lights and things. Maybe it's karaoke or dancing? Japanese import?
My sources say yes.
Checking. That would be Showtime Stage, a collaboration of Nihana Heavy Industry Concern and Hubris Records in Germany. It's won a lot of rewards. Huh. I recognize most of these. Whoa, is that seriously a Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze? But the one in the middle with the split screens is new to me. Fist of Discomfort, a hybrid real-time strategy and brawler beat-em-up. It's actually not that new, it's been a staple of the esports scene for the last 8 years. 2 genres I was utterly lousy at last time I checked. And over here is an old lady. Sorry ma'am, I was just talking to myself and had an overwhelming urge to complete my sentences. Thankfully, I don't think she even registered me calling her old. She looks up from her knitting, seated behind the ticket prize redemption desk, and offers a wrinkly smile.
Well, hello there. Always nice to meet someone new in the Funplex.
The what?
Francine's Arcade Funplex. Didn't you see the sign out front, dear? Well, I chose to knock off the first 2 words when they got knocked off the building during the storm of 1980. Now it's just the Funplex, I suppose. So, how can I help you, dear?
She's got Pac-Man earrings. Okay. 3 choices. Alright, so we are going to choose the center one. A magical space fairy or something that lives in my phone told me to come here to find my dream job.
Hello!
Hello, I'm a magical space fairy, apparently. I half expected her to send me packing. Pretty impulsive of me just to talk about Iris like that. But she took it in stride.
My, oh my.
Oh, hello! My, what they can do with technology these days. I really do marvel at what amazing things young people have in 20XDX, or 20 beepy beep. Although I'd simply love to take a sledgehammer to those blasted video game consoles that eat at my bottom line, she said with such a kind-hearted and warm smile.
Please, call me Francine. As in, Francine's Arcade Funplex. Get it? Actually, thinking about it, I suppose we were originally Frederick's Arcade Funplex, named after my dear, departed husband. Sadly, he died peacefully in bed some years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, don't be. He died doing what he loved. Having intensely physical relations with me.
Okay! That's information I needed to know, yes. And you are? Ari Cater, ma'am. Very well, shall we retire to the office to conduct your interview? I'd carry on out here, but it is rather noisy, isn't it? Yeah, about that. How do you deal with the constant noise, anyway? Well, eventually you just learn how to filter out all the beeps and boops. It can take weeks to become acclimated, I've found, but in the end, done. She quirks an eyebrow. Well now, that's faster than the others. Not bad. So, shall we see what you're made of, This way, please. Francine leads me down a back hallway past public restrooms and into a door marked employees only. It takes all my restraint not to point out the extraneous apostrophe. Welcome to our little backstage oasis. I'd suggest we do this in Gavin's office, but it's a bit too untidy. I don't blame the boy, he's been so overworked lately. Please, have a seat and we'll begin. As quirky as this place and its owner may be, at least I'm confident that I can nail the interview portion of the proceedings. I've interviewed for 12 jobs and held down 3. I know all of the standard questions. What are your greatest strengths? What do you see as your weaknesses? Once, I even had to describe how to assemble a Lego set to prove my communication skills. Considering I ended up washing dishes, I'm not sure why, but the point is, I'm confident, prepared, ready.
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
What?
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Right, okay. Maybe this wouldn't be a typical job interview after all. No problem, go with the flow, let's do this. Okay. Alright, so we have a 6, so we are choosing Brontosaurus. I've always liked Brontosauruses. If you're gonna go dino, go big or go home, and not really a brutal meat eater. Indeed, and nothing says self-starting go-getter looking for a dynamic job position quite like a 16-ton slow-moving lump of meat. Right. Maybe I should have gone with raptor. Everybody likes raptors.
What's your favorite snack?
What's your favorite snack? Snack? If this was a favorite food question, I'd have this down easy. It's tacos. Always tacos. But snacks?
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Pizza bagels. Say pizza bagels. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have... Hush, you. Come now, dear, I don't have all day. After giving it a good thought, well, how could I forget my favorite snack? Five, so we're choosing choice 3. I'm not picky, really. Whatever calls to me most is what I choose, whether it's Flamin' Hot Cheetos or gummy bears. Very interesting, I see you go with the flow, a team player. It's kind of my thing. You know what they say, you are what you eat. Next question. Nothing I prepared for has helped me plan for this odd interview. I brace myself for the next one.
What assets can you bring to the team during the inevitable zombie apocalypse?
Is this interview for real, or is this a dream? As I look into Francine's deadpan expression, I know she's 130% serious. Okay. Six. I wouldn't be of much help in the inevitable zombie apocalypse. At least I can throw myself into a horde of undead and you all can escape to live another day. Well, at least you're honest, and honesty is the best way to form trust. One more thing.
Why are you here?
The question is so simple and almost actually relevant to career planning that it takes me off guard. I told you, the magical space fairy in my phone sent me here to find a job.
You're seeking a job, true? But that doesn't really answer my question, does it? No doubt you think my interview questions are a bit silly, but I like to think of the Funplex as more than a collection of tasks and people to perform those tasks. Most folks my age opening arcades at that time saw it as just another way to make a quick buck. But, well, I saw it as something else. Something more than a way to make a large pile of quarters. And I expect you'll find the others working here see it as something more too. Everyone has a dream they're chasing, dearie. And for my friends, it lies within the Funplex.
Alright, have a good night, MJD82.
Now, if all you want is a paycheck, I can provide that. But the last fellow in your position, That's all he wanted. And he didn't last long. So I ask you again. Why are you here?
To be honest, I didn't have a better answer than just because. Just because. Just run with it. Just go with the flow. Juniper and Iris told me to do a thing, so I did the thing. But that wouldn't cut it here. I needed to actually think this through. Okay, we're rolling the D10. And it's 1. I like having fun. Arcades are fun. And they say you should find what you love and make a living of it, right? When I was a kid, I went to arcades all the time with my family. I remember having a ball there. It'd be nice to experience that fun again. Not that I'd slack off and play games all day. I'm a hard worker. In my last job, I was a lifeguard. Serious business there. That perks her attention. Oh my, a rather serious occupation that. And an unusual step from such troubled waters to a land of make-believe. You enjoyed this role as a lifeguard, I take it? Yes, ma'am. My roommate says she often noticed me smiling after coming home from work. Which makes Francine smile in turn. I can't say I can offer you a role with such high stakes, but you'd be surprised at the many ways one can save a life, even here. Very well, I'm satisfied. Let's get you to work. I breathe easier at that. Probably the weirdest job interview I've ever had, to be sure, and yet it felt appropriate, like it was about far more than just filling a slot on the payroll. Francine leads me back to the arcade floor to introduce me to my duties. It only occurs to me now that I forgot to ask exactly what duties this mystery job I'd accepted really involved. Francine gestures to the seat she was occupying previously, a stool behind the pride's desk.
Oh, how marvelous.
Welcome to your new position, Ari. Sitting here, you mean? Sitting here and helping players redeem tickets for valuable prizes. I glanced at the wide array of pencil toppers, rubber spiders, and tiny plastic toy cars on display. Well, for prizes, at any rate. It's such a relief. I'd really been stretching myself thin lately trying to fill in since the position was vacated. If you don't mind me asking, ma'am, why did the last guy who sat here end up quitting? Something about being so bored out of his mind that he felt like jamming one of those 500-ticket plush dolls down someone's throat.
Oh, such a shame.
Poor dear, he just wasn't cut out for this line of work. Grandson or no, I've no patience for such nonsense. I'm sorry, the last person to work this desk was your grandson? Anyway, Gavin should be by soon. He'll handle paperwork and all that administrative nonsense. Now, if you don't mind, all this talking's tired me out some. I'll be in the back office if you need me. Okay then. I adjusted my seating on the semi-comfortable stool, leaning against the desk. Beneath me, a wide array of cheap junk awaited my attention. I could have lost hope then and there that this job would be even slightly more engaging than being a diner dishwasher, but chose to look on the positive side. I'd be helping kids obtain toys that would become nostalgic memories for years to come. Right? Any minute now. I crave the sweet embrace of death. I've been sitting here for 2 hours now, and nobody's walked up to obtain a novelty Funplex shot glass, or a colored pencil set, or a light-up yo-yo. Lunchtime's approaching, and so far the only people walking in and out of the arcade are a few stray adults who have no interest in cheap friendship bracelets. Thankfully, my first customer of the day arrives before I could start wondering if one of those 500-ticket plushies could really fit down someone's throat. Or maybe not. Nope. Just walking right on by me, his head buried in reading some sort of spreadsheet off his tablet. Was he here to play? Doesn't seem like the typical businessman on a break or unwashed and unemployed game aficionado. In fact... Okay, we've got 2 choices. 1 to 3 for number 1, and 4 to 6 for number 2. And we got 1. Most guys I know are content to toss on a t-shirt and jeans. Not this guy. Even in an arcade, he's sharp like a linoleum knife. In fact, that rather pointed look he's offering me after doubling back is rather linoleum knifey too. Hold on a minute, who are you exactly? What are you doing behind that desk? Where's Francine? Okay. Okay, so... Alright, so we got 4. Why, I am Francine, dear, the wonders of plastic surgery.
I think not.
Out. Now. Kidding. I'm Ari. She hired me to work the desk. I'm her grandson's replacement. He doesn't look pleased with me jerking him around like that, but nods in satisfaction anyway.
Good to hear.
It's about time. I was wondering how long she'd have to work the desk. She's got gusto for an octogenarian and loves working the floor, but sitting here all day handing out toys and dealing with problems wears her down. So she explained the job to you, gave you the papers to sign? She said Gavin would handle that stuff. With a sigh, he rubs his forehead, feeling a headache coming on.
That would be me. I'm Gavin Cooper. I'm the business manager here at the Funplex. I make sure we manage to keep having a business, rather than a pile of rapidly collapsing fiscal mistakes.
Right. So, as you've no doubt guessed, you'll be exchanging tickets for prizes, but that's the least part of your job. There's more to it than that. You're the floor attendant. You attend to the floor. What, the carpets?
Seriously?
The floor. The arcade, the games, the patrons. You're the one running around putting out fires and sorting out problems. Technically, you're our second floor attendant. Ashley will be in later, but we need 2, 1 to roam, 1 to operate the desk. I do it myself, but I'm typically busy in the back office, making sure the whole thing doesn't fall to bankruptcy. That's why Francine loved filling in. She's a people person. She loves helping out in a pinch. I am not a people person, as you've likely gathered. That's not to say you're alone out here. I'm in your corner, at least. If things go south, you tap me for advice on what to do. You got a phone? Of course. Gavin quickly passes me his business card. He apparently had a stack of them at the ready in his pocket. Go figure. His phone number is listed at the bottom. You ever worked a high-pressure customer service job before? Shoe sales? Smelly socks? You have no idea. Right. Well, you know how to keep your head when a customer doesn't, I hope. But anything goes sideways, you text me. I'm not around, you text Ashley or Naomi, in that order. Who and who? You'll meet them soon enough.
I think not.
Above all, do not bug Francine. She's practically retired. Let her enjoy that retirement in peace. Comprendo? Oop. It was 1, actually. I eat stress and crap solutions. Don't worry, I can manage the floor while you manage the business just fine.
Doubtful.
That remains to be seen. The last guy sitting on that stool was a slacker and an idiot, and even though he was family, Francine dropped him like a bad habit.
If you stay clear and honest with me, do your work, do it well, we'll get along swimming. I have enough problems keeping this magical arc of hopes and wishes afloat. Please, don't add to my problems.
Magical arc of what now? Gavin sighs again, a stress release gesture, but his expression softens somewhat up afterwards.
I take it Francine told you her theory, that this is more than just a job, more than just an arcade.
That's my understanding.
I'm not into dressing up words. I like to speak plain. If I'm curt, then that's because optimization is a factor of my job. Everybody working here wants to work here. This is where they belong, for one reason or another. Me? I love chaos. I love wrangling chaos specifically. The arcade industry is high risk, high reward. I manage that risk so that they can also find happiness in their lives. Everybody in this business has a dream they're chasing. It's a fragile thing, prone to getting crushed by hard reality.
Oops.
My job is to see to it that never happens. That includes Francine, who deserves better in her twilight years than desperately propping up a semi-failing business. So, You find some value in this place beyond your salary, and you'll burn out. Trust me. Last guy to sit there burned out hard. Now, can I trust you to mesh with our merry misfits?
Seriously, why this preemptive assumption I'll be a problem employee? It's only my first day on the job. I'm the protector of their hopes and dreams, for lack of a less flowery way to put it. I've got a right to be suspicious of you. But do your work, don't screw with them, and we'll get along just fine. Anyway, I need to go prepare your paperwork. Technically, you shouldn't be working until we've crossed the I's and dotted the T's, but since I'm already sitting here, you'd rather I stick around? That would be accurate. If you're willing to fudge things a bit and work today anyway, it'd help us out a lot. Now, if you don't mind, Naomi could use a hand in the workshop. A good opportunity to introduce yourself as well. Got it. Wait, someone else is here? I haven't seen anyone else. Yeah, that sounds like Naomi. Her workshop's through that door there, the one next to the UFO catcher, the crane game to use layman's terms. Satisfied for now, Gavin heads in the back, presumably to the office to go crunch some numbers. If Francine's really taking a nap back there, hopefully he's going to crunch quietly. My first coworker ended up being slightly less cool of a guy than I thought he'd be, but he's not a jerk, definitely. I get where he's coming from. Plus, I've known really blunt people before. It's easy to mistake them for jerks, especially at first glance. I figure I can give this guy an honest chance. Anyway, I should go meet my next coworker, this Naomi that he mentioned, although I could swear Francine and I were the only ones here until now. A double door, also marked Employees Only, also with an apostrophe, leads from the arcade floor to what feels like an industrial area of some sort. I turn the handle and step inside. In a little room tucked away between the back offices and the Funplex front, I find what is very likely this Naomi, spoken only of in myth and legend. A girl about my age, but certainly not my height, is tinkering away on what looks like an old tube-style monitor. Huh, I didn't realize they had so many circuits. She doesn't notice me when I come in, too busy soldering a capacitor into place. The lingering smell of melting metals fills the air of the poorly ventilated workshop. Excuse me, for lack of a better way to interrupt her. I was worried no matter what I did she might, I don't know, burn her fingers or jump so high she hit the ceiling or something. Fortunately, the shock's not quite that intense. Hello?
Hey, you know this room is for employees only.
She said, with no apostrophe.
Are you lost? Do you need something?
I'm Ari Cater. I'm the new floor attendant starting today.
Oh! Hi. I didn't realize Francine already found someone. I guess I forgot to check my text. Whoops.
She spares a glance at her phone on the nearby workbench where a huge stack of green notification messages lie in wait. One thought comes to mind on actually seeing her. 1 to 3 for choice 1, 4 to 6 for choice 2. Aren't vintage arcade fans just dumpy white dudes with backwards caps who tinker with coin-ops in their garages? No way she was even born when that monitor was manufactured, much less when that game was released. I'm not gonna say this feels like a waste of someone's life, but it just seems weird to me, I guess. It's a nasty thing to think, but first impressions are first impressions.
Anyway, I'm Naomi Fairchild, the Funplex's techie. Hi! Pleased to meet you. I was expecting Gavin, though. He usually checks up on me about now.
He's busy doing strange things with numbers.
Ugh, yeah, that sounds like Gavin. I take it he sent you along to help? Great. Give me a hand with this monitor. It's really heavy, and I'm still paranoid about dropping it after what happened last time.
Really? What happened last time?
Oh, well, I dropped it.
Oh, right. She helps me lift the large cathode ray tube, slotting the heavy metal framework into place within the exposed guts of the nearby arcade cabinet. Once done, she starts hooking wires back up to other wires. There's a surprising number of green circuit boards in that largely hollow wooden shell. This is the first time I've seen inside one of these things. It's weird. Lots of empty space, a couple large slabs of circuits, and that beefy monitor. Okay, so we're going for choice number 1. Why is it so empty in there? Seems inefficient. Couldn't you pack more games into the arcade if it was more compact? Not really, it's more about the footprint on the floor than the vertical height. Naomi keeps working using a pocket multimeter to check various connections as she speaks.
Let me explain.
I mean, compare American and Japanese cabinets. Ours are designed for standing players, so they have to be upright even if that means an empty base. Japanese candy caps are shorter, so you play sitting down. But I prefer American style. Ours have more room for art. She closes up the rear access panel, closing it with one of her many keys on the keyring at her side, then steps back to admire her handiwork. There's genuine joy in that smile. Not just at a job well done, but looking at the whole thing like it's a fine sculpture.
So beautiful.
Oh, I love the classic Midway style. Look at those sharp angles, the side art decals, the bold font on the marquee, the bezel artwork. The what on the what and the what artwork? With a sigh, Naomi points out key features to me. The strip across the top with the game title, that's the marquee. The artwork that wraps around the monitor, that's the bezel. I mean, you see it too, right? How beautiful and cohesive it all is, working in harmony to give this game its own unique feel, its own experience. As for me, well... Okay, so option 2. The way she stares lovingly at this, well, honestly, this box of wood and circuits and vacuum tubes and stuff, I think I understand. It was made to be one whole thing, the art, the style, and of course the game itself, all of it part of the same experience. Everything about this game is the game. If you run it in an emulator or on a game console instead, it's made lesser. Yeah, I guess I can see it. It's beautiful in its own way. Oh, good! Naomi lights up with joy like a pinball machine, all twinkly and shiny. Finally, so few people really understand the beauty of a classic arcade game. Having someone I can talk to about this stuff is going to be great. Especially with that jerk Gavin running the numbers. Gavin? What's wrong with Gavin? He does seem a bit high-strung, yeah, but... Okay.
I don't know.
Well, don't get me wrong, I can get along with him, generally, but his whole attitude just... ugh!
Ugh.
All he really cares about is money. He keeps the arcade running, yeah, but I just know if he had his way, he'd gut the whole place. If anybody's gonna ruin the Funplex, it's him. Mark my words, it's inevitable. That doesn't sound right. Granted that he's kind of a bitter bastard, but Gavin gave me that whole speech about protecting their dreams. This looks like a pretty sore point here, a long-standing argument that the new person really shouldn't get involved with. And yet, I'm involved, aren't I? I have to work with both Naomi and Gavin. So I'm not sure how I should prod at it, but I kind of want to know too. I get this is touchy, but if I'm going to work here, I think we should all be honest with each other. No gossip. So, I gotta know, why do you think Gavin wants to destroy the arcade? He buys into Francine's idea that this is a place for dreams. He says he does, but he's willing to sacrifice way too much just to keep the full thing afloat. Road to hell, best intentions, etc. If he had his way, this place would be like Deco's palace, nothing but ticket games and prize catchers. He thinks actual video games are too expensive, a waste of floor space. I bet he'd remove them all if he had his way. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him to do the right thing. But that's my problem, not yours. Sorry to drop gossip on your head like this. Thanks for hearing me out anyway. Right, let's get back to work, shall we? Now for the less fun part. You seem a strong, strapping kind of person. Well, a strong person at least. Well, you're a person, that's enough. I'm semi-insulted then? Okay, let's get to it! Right, a little to the left now. My left, you're right, careful. Now, forward, right, correct, I mean turn, not turn to the right. Keep it coming, and there. Carefully, tip it into place. Victory! I gently eased a rolling dolly forward, the giant wooden box slotting into place alongside its neighbors. The two-wheeled dolly makes it easier, but hardly easy, especially with Naomi fretting over her baby getting scratched or worse, falling over. But with the work done, she's all smiles again.
Yeah.
Okay, glad to be done with that one. I swear, I've been working on that monitor for ages. Those tubes are finicky as heck, and I'm still totally not satisfied with the flyback, but... Thanks for helping me out, Ari. I think you're gonna do just great here. Happy to... Oh right, stomach growling. Food acquired. Food required! Except... I wasn't expecting to actually be working today. I forgot to pack a lunch.
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Now, I'm just talking here, but if you had pizza on a bagel... Shh! Hey, so any good restaurants in walking distance? I think that bookstore next door sells donuts and stuff, but... Oh, no, not really, unfortunately. I mean, there's a cheapo Wub Sub sandwich place, but even if that stuff is too super tasty, you don't want to go there. You need to eat healthy. Hey, I know, wait right here. And she's off, scurrying back to her hidey hole. And she's back, scurrying from her hidey hole. Lunchtime! Here you go. She presses a boxed lunch into my hands. It's a bento box. I learned how to make them from my mom, who learned from her mom back when they lived in Japan. Rice and pickles and all sorts of good, healthy things. Wait, you're giving me your lunch? Sure, why not? And yet when I first walked in as a stranger, she looked super uncomfortable with me. That escalated quickly. What'll you have for lunch then? Oh, I can just get some nachos from the vending machine or go hit the whole story next door. I've got a book delivery to pick up anyway. But you said eating healthy was important.
See ya.
See you after lunch! I can't help but think she was just looking for an excuse to go get some junk food instead. I don't think I get where Naomi's coming from. Can't quite love games the way she does, she's not what I expected. Still, I think we'll get along just fine. And she did give me her lunch. Me, a total stranger. Gotta be something there, right? So, a bento box. I've only seen these in anime. It's cute, and hopefully has plenty of calories too. Armed with a box of health food, I retired to the employee lounge to get my munch on. The room where I had my bizarre job interview will suffice for food times. It's not much, a few folding chairs and a kitchenette, but it'll do. Utterly famished by this point, I have a seat and unpacked my loaned lunch. Incoherent screaming! With my mind and body screaming wildly, my paralyzed form is unable to move from the vision of terror before me. The half-person, half-animal waves their appendages in front of me, likely closing in for the kill. Hello? Anyone in there? See? Nothing to be afraid of. Right. I see. Looks like you've stabilized. I was worried I scared the life right out of you.
Hey, so I'm sorry if I traumatized you. Really. Can we start over, maybe?
I nod my head slowly, although that could just be muscle spasms from being in shock.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Ari.
I'm also Pinky, the Funplex Flamingo. It's my secret, yet not so secret identity.
What the Funplex what now? This is almost too much to take in. Gavin was a bit of a lot. Naomi was off the scale cheerful. I've met some really intense people so far.
Did you sneak into the employee section just to get my autograph?
Me? No?
Oh, I thought you would recognize Pinky from all the signs around the arcade. Pinky is the mascot of the Funplex after all.
Oh no, that's not what I meant at all. I mean, I work here.
You work here? Since when?
Today? This morning, to be specific.
Oh, awesome! Welcome to the Funplex.
I mean, it would have been way cooler if you were just so enamored with the chibi flamingo creature plastered on every wall that you had to know more.
Let's see.
You could have stealthily maneuvered your way through all the games, sliding right on up to the employees only door. But how did you get the door code?
Ooh.
Of course! You would have collected the password on a piece of paper that fell from Gavin's pocket. You searched your heart and decided that 4-digit number had to be the intel you needed.
Let's see.
Next, you needed to lie in wait for the opportune moment to punch in that secret key code just to find me. It just keeps going and going and going. Okay. Maybe Ashley does have a point. Juniper sometimes says my mildness can be off-putting. I guess if this job doesn't work out, I could always start a life of crime. And how would you have snuck out, I wonder? I could have helped, but for a price. Ashley finally realizes she's been babbling to herself for a good couple minutes. Oops. Sometimes I get swept up in a good story. I mean, I gotta find some way to make this job more interesting. Is it really that dull here? No, not really. I just crave a different kind of excitement than beeps and boops, screaming children, and broken machines. You aren't really painting the best picture here. Geez, I don't mean to be a downer. I just want to move up in the world. I've got things to accomplish, dreams to fulfill, cosplay to make. Cosplay? As we switch topics, it's like she's a completely different person. Ashley's eyes light up and she smiles. Yeah, you know, like dressing up as your favorite video game or TV character. I love it. It's so empowering to be able to make your own costume and wear it proudly. It's even better when people recognize what character you are. Empowering? Really? Granted, she certainly had the power to stop my heart for a few beats.
Yes!
Definitely! You want to try? Got a favorite game character? I can help you make your first cosplay if you want. In fact, I made this one. I think Ashley is pointing to her flamingo costume, but it's a little hard to tell with her hands as feathers. So Pinky is your creation? Intentionally? Yep, it looks pretty good for my first mascot cosplay, doesn't it? I'd probably stitch my hands together if I tried that. I'm all thumbs when it comes to stuff like that. Literally, if I get enough thread running between them. I'm pretty impressed though. Naomi was going on about craftsmanship of games. Clearly you're digging on craftsmanship of costumes. Aw, thanks! It's nice when hard work is appreciated. I wear it around the Funplex to liven up the crowds, get people pumped to play some games, and the kids seem to adore it. That makes sense. Although the arcade has been completely dead so far. No crowds to pump or kids to be adored by. Hey, secret between you and me? Ashley motions for me to come closer. She leans in, glances around the room once, and then talks in a hushed tone. I did some repairs on Pinky overnight. I had to restitch the left arm, and I was giving her an old test drive to make sure it doesn't fall off. Huh, limbs falling off seems bad. Oh, it was. Yesterday, I was dancing with a little girl, must have been like 5-6 years max. Anyway, we were next to Showtime stage when she tugged on my arm and whoosh, off came the arm. The girl instantly started bawling. Well, at least you are consistently scaring people and it's not just me. Hey now! I don't want that to happen again, I felt so bad. But enough about me, what about you? So you're Carl's replacement? I guess so. I'm the new floor attendant. I attend to the floor. The floor is a thing I am attending to when I'm not going into cardiac arrest. At least you're funner than Carl, that's for sure. I can't wait to go home and tell Juniper I do have a sense of humor. She'll be so proud. I assume you've already met Francine, but have you had a chance to meet Gavin and Naomi yet? Yeah, I met them already, although it seems like they aren't too keen on each other. Right? Ashley rolls her eyes and lets out a sigh. I wish they would hurry up and make out already. Yeah. Wait! What? Seriously? So, are they going out? Nope. But they always bicker like an old married couple. It's classic anime cliche. The ones who fight always end up together. Mark my words, Ari. Consider them marked.
Beep beep.
Beep beep, beep beep, Ari. What's that sound? Drat, I set an alarm for when my lunch break was over. Time to go back to the grindstone. I didn't even get a chance to eat.
What?
That's no good. Ari needs their calories. You eat up, I'll go watch the floor. In fact, how about I take over the ticket desk for the next shift? You can do my job and wander the floor a bit. Fair enough, thanks. Ashley winks before her face disappears into the dark recesses of that inhuman mask. As I'm wolfing down rice in the shape of a little heart, wow, it occurs to me I didn't actually ponder my first impressions of Ashley yet. Let's see. Okay. The way Ashley's whole expression changed when she talks about things she's passionate about just warms my heart. Her beaming energy just lights up the whole room. I wonder if one day I'll be that excited about something. Anyway, with lunch in my belly and break time complete, the second half of my workday began. Rolling into the afternoon, the crowd starts to fill out. School's done, and late-rising pros are heading out to their arcades of choice. With Ashley covering the desk, my job is to wander the floor looking for problems, or potential problems, or just making sure everything's A-okay. But for starters, it's a good moment to collect my thoughts. Got off on the right foot with some of my coworkers, and the wrong foot with others. A mixed bag, let's say, but not awful. I need to make sure I get along with these people. They're going to be a part of my life, one way or another. And if Francine's willing to pink slip her grandson, well, I'm expendable. I should be careful. Hang on, no time for daydreaming. I think I spot, let's see, 3 possible issues to look into. I should have time to get to all of them, but which do I tackle first? Okay, so... an irate customer near Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. My mutant floor attendant senses detect danger from the left-hand side of the arcade. I quickly rush all of 30 feet to the scene of the crime already in progress. Come on! Hurry the up and finish your game! You! Do you work here? I saw you behind the desk earlier. Note to self. Ask Gavin for a name tag or something. Yes, I'm Ari, floor attendant. Well, stop attending to the carpets and attend to me. I want this to wrap up his damn game so I can play. Ashley's face is obscured between her costume's mask, but I can feel her wince as the man curses up a blue streak. Sir, there are children present. Please keep the swearing to a minimum. You kick this fat piece of off this game and I'll sing Mary Had a Little Lamb all you want. Figuring I ought to hear the fat piece of side of the story before rushing to judgment, I tap the player on the shoulder. And he doesn't even notice my tapping. So I tap again. Twice. Sir, there are other players waiting to give Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze a spin. Curiously, the player looks up at the game's marquee, thank you Naomi, which simply reads Moopy. You know the game's full name? Sure, I played it a lot when I was a kid. It's actually called Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze, right? Wizards and pellets and monsters and stuff? Yeah. A bit terse as he's laser focused on the game, and I can see why. He's currently sitting on 714,900 points. Holy crap, that's a heck of a high score. Or as this other guy would probably put it, holy, that's a high score. Excuse me? Right. Sir, can you please wrap up your game? Nope. I'm keeping good pace here. Plenty of lives stocked, on par for getting close to the world record before the kill screen. Somehow, the thick arcade jargon sounds classier when draped in his British accent, like I'm watching some documentary program on the BBC. Yeah, but this is a public arcade. Other folks want to play the games too. He finishes clearing the current board while pondering the predicament. Okay. At first, I think he's stepping away to end his game, but he's letting his stock of 50 extra dudes slowly deplete as he pulls out his wallet. Without pause, he pulls out $3,000 in cash and holds it out. Will this cover it? For a moment, I flash back to that movie where some dude pays another dude to sleep with his wife, and they roll around in bed covered in money and, cover what exactly? The cost of the game. The game itself. I have never seen this much raw cash in one place at any given time. It's not even in 20s. Dudes rolling in Benjamins. One moment please? On it. Fortunately, Iris already has my messenger app open for me with Gavin's contact info preloaded. With trembling fingers, I key in, customer wants to buy Moopy for $3K, what do? In less than a minute, I have my response. Considering we paid $200 for it plus parts, yes, absolutely yes, sell that relic immediately. Well, okay then. Although, how is Naomi gonna react to this? Offloading one of her darlings just because Gavin wants to make a 15-fold profit? It also feels kind of weird to be taking advantage of this guy's lack of a grasp on the real costs of old arcade machines. I knew all this workplace drama was going to catch up to me at some point, but with this rando breathing down my neck, I gotta make a decision. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're selling the game. I'd say 3 large is more than fair. It's all yours. I quickly pocket the money, feeling vaguely like a thief. A thief who will be eating well tonight, mind you. You want me to get the dolly and wheel this old thing out of here for you? But he shakes his head. Absolutely not. I'm leaving the game right where it is. But you bought it? So I can play it whenever I want for as long as I want, provided nobody else is already playing, of course. Wouldn't be proper to interrupt someone. But I wouldn't want to take it away from the Funplex. Naomi would cry. We can't have that, right? I guess not. Which leaves the rando hopping mad. To be fair, we had kind of been ignoring that he exists. What the man? What kind of an arcade is this anyway? This, I'm going to Deco's Palace. And we just lost a customer stomping his way out the door. Stomp, stomp, stomp. On the plus side, Naomi will cry. On the negative side, I just drove a rando out into the cold.
What a disagreeable fellow.
As for the player, well, he goes right back to playing. Eating pellets, zapping ghost monsters, clearing mazes. You still here, Time Sage? I know you're off of watching it on video, but I have a feeling you would find Percy pretty cute too. With the crisis behind us, I can actually focus on who this gonzo rich guy actually is. Take it from someone wallowing around in lower tax brackets, the rich can do whatever they want whenever they want. And yet, that's not what this guy did. He could have, but he let us keep the game. He just wanted to play, that's all. And why? Because of Naomi. Because of the Funplex. It's a home and a family for the games and for us. Maybe it's for the best that I sent that rando out the door in favor of this guy. So, you know Naomi? He's happy to talk even while playing.
Of course. I'm a Funplex regular. My name's Percy. I'd hazard you're our new floor attendant? I was here when Francine seated you behind the desk earlier.
That's me, Ari Cater, Arcade Wrangler.
Well then, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I look forward to getting to know you better.
So, you've seriously just been playing Moopy all day, huh?
What can I say? It's my calling. I actually owned a Moopy cabinet once. Had it in my flat. But playing it by myself, all alone in the dark, it's not the same. I need the atmosphere.
The beeps and boops?
No, those you eventually learn to filter out. I mean, everything. The games, the lights, the kids, the feeling of being in an arcade. I score my best when I'm in real-world conditions. It's all about the emotions. Laughter and the tears, the excitement of competition. I need that swirling chaos of human emotions around me to play at my finest.
Naomi gets that. She keeps Moopy in top condition for the day I eventually land my high score. What's the current world record then? About 3.5 million. This guy has been standing here since I was working the morning shift. Hours and hours. And he's still only about 720k into his game. Can't imagine him being in anything but top health condition to try this. Guy's gotta have legs made out of carbon fiber and a bladder of tungsten. I just let a few extra lives drain out whenever I need to go pee. Also, he may be psychic. I feel like I should let him get back to his game, but burning questions, they burn like fire. So I take it your high score is more important to you than your bank balance? The way you just decided to buy Moopy, I mean.
Why?
Of course, the score is more important than anything. Except eating and paying rent, more important than anything. A few hours of day trading after I go home keeps the bank balance in balance. Anybody could do it if they have the head for numbers. He points to the current score at the top of Moopy's screen. If I'm going to define myself by a number, this is the one I choose. I don't feel people are defined by their work. I know that arcade is home to those who've made their passion into their work, but it's the passion that matters more. I've my passions the same as anyone. I look forward to learning yours as well. When I'm not deep in the middle of the game, I mean. He's getting more and more distracted by the game. I should leave him be. I have to do a thing about a thing. Be seeing you, Mixcator. Yet another weird encounter in a string of weird encounters. By the end, he sounded more like the high-score junkies you hear about in documentaries. Obsessed, driven, kind of strange. But that's not the impression I had of him from the beginning. He smiled when talking about not splitting up the arcade. There's something more going on here. But, well, he's a Funplex regular. There'll be plenty of time to learn more later. I've got work to do. Let's see what to handle next. Someone cursing up a storm at Fist of Discomfort. There's a lot of shouting coming from the center of the arcade where Fist of Discomfort is being played. I remember Iris telling me about it earlier today while I was bored to death at the ticket desk. Fist of Discomfort, or FOD, is one of the most popular games in the esports circuit. It's been a staple of the scene for over 6 years. One year, Team Wicked Prodigies took on the Unreal and came back to win in the dying seconds of a tiebreaker match to take home a record $5 million prize pot. That's a lot of moolah. And how? Okay, so how does it work? It's a hybrid of real-time strategy and button mash brawling. Fight your way down to the top and bottom lanes, clearing waves of ninjas to finally top the enemy dojo. But that's the action part. The strategy part involves using special abilities, purchased items, and ninja summons. FOD is sheer elegance in its simplicity, the way the different game systems interweave to form one masterpiece of esports perfection. So, summon good ninjas, punch bad ninjas, smash dojo. I'd say bullying down a rich game of action and strategy played the world over by top gamers in such a way is a bit degrading, but sure, okay. All of which is super interesting and stuff, but right now, all I care about is dealing with the loudmouth currently playing the game. The closer I get, the louder the yelling gets. Most of these are words that...
What the
What in the actual was that? No, those are definitely all words my mother would disapprove of. You've got to be ing me. There is no ing way that is even plausible. Those hitboxes don't even ing connect. This game, it all night long. Haha, get wrecked. Oh, this is far from over, Scrub. I saved up for a little something extra special for you. I've been baiting you into attacking my sensei, which you fell for. Hard. Oh, hey. Did I forget that I mentioned that I bought an extra ultimate technique scroll for my dojo? Whoops, my bee. I just love it. His name is Randall Calrissian. Wait, what? You haven't been farming? How could? XP share technique with creep waves. Take this. 5-fold explosive death clock technique. What? How did you defeat me? No!
Oh,
GG fodder.
no one can defeat me, Queen Bee.
My dry eyes painfully blinking makes me realize I've been standing there, watching intently during that whole exchange. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but that didn't matter. I was completely sucked in. Couldn't tear my eyes away. It was like watching a train wreck. I mean, if the train was the arcade game and the wreck was that guy's face.
Hey, kid. What are you staring at? Never seen a champion of my caliber before?
Oh, Seeing as I don't even know how to begin to start to even consider how to respond to her question, I opt to take a moment and collect my thoughts. From what I've somehow gathered, she goes by Queen Bee. That jacket she's wearing identifies her as a member of L7 Gaming, an arcade esports team. And she's the most direct, fierce person I've met all day. That's saying a lot considering who I've run into so far. With that level of excitement always gushing out, I can only imagine how much enjoyment she gets out of life. What can I say? People love winning, and it seems like she wins a lot. At least between bursts of, what did Iris call it? Saltiness?
Hey, don't just stand there all weird and quiet-like. It's creepy.
She snaps her fingers to grab my attention.
So, are you gonna quarter up or not? Think you can best the hottest rising star of L7?
From what I've seen, I know I couldn't best a scrub, let alone a professionally competitive player of this game. Nope. No thank you. Plus, I'm not sure I'm allowed to play games while I'm working.
You work here?
Right, I'm the new floor attendant. And if you're not careful with your snark, I can show you to the exit. Loaded silence. Oh, you are a cute one. Sassy. And direct.
Hey, they haven't given you a name tag yet. How am I supposed to know who you are?
I think that was actually a weird tactic to have me introduce myself to her. I'm Ari. I did technically just start working here 6 hours ago. It might take them time to issue me a name tag. Maybe they need to send a carrier pigeon to an ancient monastery where name tags are forged in a vast clay oven. Nah, Gavin's just slacking big time. I'll talk to that silly boy for you. Make sure you get some proper respect. Thanks? No problem, we gamers got to stick together.
I'm Queen Bee, by the way. Aggro-style FOD lane pusher specialist for L7 Gaming.
I figured that when you put your arms over your head, cheered and shouted, "No one can defeat me, Queen Bee."
Hey, I do not sound like that. Well, maybe a little.
Anyways, I'm one of the regulars around here besides Pear and Teo. So you'll be seeing a lot of me in the future. Let's hope you last longer than the last guy. Oh great, now she's even making my job into a competition. I hope there isn't a betting pool, too. You look like a smart kid. You've seen one of my many streams on the internet, right? Nope. I literally have no idea what you were talking about.
Whoa.
Really? Have you been living under a rock for the past decade? If you consider a small yet formidable apartment a rock, then yes. Oh, you sweet child. You are so innocent and pure. Come, let me show you the path to darkness that is the internet. My internal sensors are going off, and they're telling me to reverse and leave this conversation ASAP. No, I think I'm okay without that.
Come on!
Come on, where's the fun in that? I'm just going to show you how it all works. Queen Bee grabs my arm and pulls me closer to the Fist of Discomfort cabinet. And upon further inspection, I see the whole haphazard pile of tech she's rigged up. You can't just plug one of those cabs into the internet, so I use a number of clip-on webcams and mics and stuff. That webcam there, it broadcasts to my own personal PC back home, which then streams matches live to all my fans. The chat room appears on my phone. Cost a bit to put everything all together, and it takes like half an hour to rig up and test each morning, but after doing this here a couple years, it's easy peasy. Aside from Naomi grinding her teeth at my clip-on cameras damaging the paint job, I mean. Anyway, I prefer to stream from the Funplex than from home. There's so much to miss out on by sitting by your lonesome with the console version of FOD. Crowds, the wicked trash talk, the community. Wait, are you broadcasting live right now? Are we live right now?
Nope.
Ha ha ha! No, that was part of my warm-up matches. I've got a pretty big tournament coming up, so I try to get in as much practice as possible. Even if it is with a bunch of fodder. As in FOD-der, as in, you know, chum, lunch meat, scrubs, losers. I got the idea, yes. Queen Bee sees something out of the corner of her eye and glances around the arcade floor. She gives a nod to someone hanging near the Street Fighter cabinet. Ah, my crew is starting to trickle in. We should be starting team practice soon. Wait, what time is it? At the tone, the time will be 2:25 p.m. Eastern.
Beep beep.
Beep beep.
What the?
I gotta go live in 5 minutes. Listen, kid, it's been swell. We'll chat later, right? Sure. One thing, can you keep the swearing down at least a little? We've got kids around here, and I don't want you to get in trouble with Gavin. Him? Meh. But for you, I'll keep it to a PG-13 rating. Now, if you'll excuse me, there are some butts out there that I need to kick. Later. And with a wave and a twirl, she completely abandons me and returns to her Fist of Discomfort game. Queen Bee fires up her broadcast rig and the shouting and, milder, swearing start up again. I should probably get out of here before I accidentally end up on the stream. Passion seems to run deep in this arcade. Everybody's spirit burning with passion for, well, various things, but hey, passion's passion. She seems to like me, which will make my job easier in the long run. There's a huge FOD community in this arcade despite being a tiny strip mall joint. Good to know. Let's see what to handle next. In the distance, I see a small number of people gathering, which is surprising since the first half of my shift was complete and utter solitude. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see that people do come to the arcade, but that's quite the crowd that's assembling. Like, larger than Queen Bee's team was, rowdier too. This has to be against some fire code or safety protocol or something, right? Speaking as a citizen that enjoys living, having an escape route in the case of an emergency is necessary. Time to clear the way and pave my own path of safety. As I approach, I see flashing neon lights accompanied by upbeat Europop drips. It's an auditory flashback right to 1980X. I can't help but nod my head to the beat. A pulsating mass of people have surrounded Showtime Stage, cheering on the current player. The game itself takes up a whole corner of the arcade, requiring a fair amount of space to actually play. Showtime Stage is an ultra-modern arcade smash hit. It uses motion tracking sensors hidden behind the colored spotlights to check dance pose accuracy and score your sweet moves. It's pure dance fever. Can you catch the fever, Ari? I had my dance fever shots at the doctor's office earlier this season. As the dance ends, one of the players hops down from the stage and immediately starts talking to a young man leaning up against the back wall. Did you see that, Teo? I got my first AA on Stop the Beat.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I did. You're doing great. Remember last month you couldn't even pass that song. Totes impressive. I'm gonna keep practicing and one day maybe even surpass you. Hey, I hope you do. And when you do, you can be the one who brings in new dancers and teaches them how to play. As the next song starts, my eyes shift from their conversation to observe the gyrations and intricate limb movements coming from Showtime Stage. I feel my head bobbing and foot tapping. Hey, it's a really catchy song, can you blame me? I'm getting really into it when I feel a hand on my shoulder.
Care to dance?
How about you? You want to take the spotlight? I'm not one for dancing with strangers. You know what dancing leads to? Me falling on my face. In front of all these people. Either that or one of my customers enjoying a trip to the emergency room with a shattered foot. I'd rather not horribly embarrass myself right now. Let's save that for later.
Bummer.
'Tis a downright shame, but you can't blame me for trying. How could I resist to ask a person such as yourself? You caught my eye the moment you walked over.
Hey, wait.
Hey, wait, you're new here, right?
right?
Yes, very.
Name's Mateo, but everyone here just calls me Teo.
Teo's the best! Greatest guy here. He's sort of like our leader, yeah?
Oh, please, I'm nothing really.
He looks directly into my eyes.
Nothing as special as you. I just like to show newbies the ropes and teach them how to play. Our community is small, but we're all super close. I think you'd be a perfect addition to our gang. So, what do you say? Play our silly dancing game?
Teo outstretches his arm to me, waiting for my hand to grab his. Oh, nope, no, thank you. When I was playing games like this, I was, what, 8? I'd rather the gathered masses not bear witness to the clumsiness of an 8-year-old on the dance floor. Teo is very persistent, and it seems like he won't just take a simple no without reason. How can I get off the hook here? Oh, duh, I'm supposed to be working. Nope, I'm actually on the clock right now. I'm the new floor attendant, Ari. Really? But I haven't seen you around here at all. What happened to the other guy? He was actually pretty good at Showtime Stage now that I think about it. He's out, I'm in. It's currently year 0 of the floor attendant Ari regime.
Hello there.
Well, it's an honor to meet you, Ari. I hope we get to know each other well. Indeed. For someone that loves Showtime Stage as much as you do, I haven't actually seen you play yet. True, most of the time during these meetups, I tend to let everyone else play. I go around and make sure everyone is happy and having a blast. But what about you and your feelings? Teo shrugs. My happiness comes from making other people happy. That's all I need in life. Which is all well and good, but I still need to deal with the crowd. How best to handle it? Good, we can start by getting to know workplace safety together. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you gotta break up the band. Unless you want to film one of those retro 1960X public service announcement videos where someone loses a leg dancing off the stage and into the crowd.
Well,
Oh yeah, guess we're kinda overdoing it a little. Shaking hands with danger! Yes! Yes! Shake hands with danger. Sit with danger. Roll over with danger. Beg with danger. Play dead with danger. Hey, when the heat is on and the lights are shining, these things happen. I'll take care of it. Luckily, the song that was being played just finished. Teo jumps up on the stage and cups his hands over his mouth. Hey, listen! We need to keep the area to the left of the stage clear. Aw, man, but why? I like my spot. Hey now, you know the deal. We all have to be cool about fire safety. That's another one from the past. It's Ari's first day, so let's show them some respect. I see everyone turn around and glare at me. Great, now I'm going to be known as the party pooper. I guess I've had worse reputations in my lifetime. Like that one time I had to close the pool because of that dirty bandage floating in the water. No one would talk to me for a week. Hey, don't disappoint me, crew. Ari's just doing their job. Reluctantly, the crowd reshuffles itself in a semi-orderly fashion. As everyone settles into a safer way of watching the game, Teo jumps down and comes back to me. Better? I nod, genuinely impressed with how Teo can capture his community's attention. They listen to him and have the utmost respect for him. Yeah, actually, much better.
didn't mean to cause any trouble. Sometimes we just get so caught up in the game, you know? Of course you know. Hey, you should still join us later. Maybe when your shift's over. We'll all be here dancing until closing time.
As long as that dancing is within the law, carry on. Officer Ari has spoken. I start to walk away ready for my next venture when I remember something I should do. I turn back to Teo. Hey, thanks.
No problem.
Well, I feel nice and accomplished. I was able to uphold the safety of the arcade like a model employee. I say that's pretty good for my first day. Even Gavin's gotta be impressed, right? With that business sorted out, it's time to leave Showtime stage. The arcade is now at peace. My work here is done. Well, actually, we're a few hours from closing time, so my work here isn't quite done. But, you know. I'm so at peace, in fact, that I don't even notice the underboss of the arcade sliding on up behind me.
Good day.
Not a bad first day so far. I've been keeping tabs on you. Well, others have been, and they've been texting me. You know, you should consider getting a proper group chat app going. I've got a crappy phone plan, my texts aren't free. A valid point, I'll look into that. I'm still not entirely convinced you're a good fit here, but you're certainly not a walking disaster. So, there's that. Thanks, I think. Anyway, I've prepared your paperwork if you'd like to go sign it and make this working relationship a bit more above board.
Yeah.
So you're staying? Please tell me you're staying. I mean, I fed you and everything. Francine hasn't fired them yet, right? An adorable nightmare joins the impromptu staff gathering. Ari's off to a great start. Here's to your first day, followed by many more. Don't you two have jobs to attend to? Just ordered a replacement power supply for Robotron. Nothing left to do for the day. Not many kids around for me to entertain. Finally, a quiet moment. My dream job has been going a mile a minute since I got here. Is it my dream job? Well, the Funplex is definitely a plex of fun. I told Francine I used to love going to arcades. Maybe I'm starting to feel that all over again. My coworkers are a fun-loving bunch too. I mean, presumably Gavin finds spreadsheets fun and loves them, so he counts too. Dream job? I don't know, maybe. But it's an absolute blast, definitely. We've only got a few hours till closing and it's nice and quiet. How about we game a bit? Speak for yourself, I've still got paperwork to handle. Oh, come on, don't act like you don't game. irrelevant. I know your dirty little secret! What, Naomi? You sneak in early every morning to play pinball. You're a pinball wizard. Ah, well, what of it? I bring order to chaos. Pinball is the very expression of that art form. You know what we should do? Impromptu pinball tourney! The girls are giggling and I'm finding myself smiling right alongside them. All in all, not a bad way to end my first day.
By the way, I've booked a birthday party for this afternoon.
The looks of confusion and outright terror on their faces, all laughter dying off immediately, are vaguely concerning to me.
Sorry, I meant to tell you, dears, but I plumb forgot.
Birthday party. How old are the kids, may I ask? It's her 5th birthday! Oh, to be young again. 5-year-olds! Naomi starts pulling at her hair, eyes wide and trembling. Throwing ski balls overhand into the glass, jumping up and down on pinball machines, putting chewing gum into coin slots. Pulling at my costume, tearing off pieces of it. Naomi, Ashley, keep it together. We've survived kids' birthday parties before. Doom! The end is nigh!
Well, I'd hate to get in the way of all the fun. Yep, it's time for my afternoon nap anyway. Have fun, dears.
Right. Battle stations, everyone. I'll take the ticket desk so I can oversee operations. Ashley, greet the kids. Naomi, watch for hardware damage. Ari, roaming duty. Look for trouble. Do what you can. Prepare yourselves. They are coming. Like an oncoming tidal wave, the rumble is felt before it is seen. Parents pulling into the parking lot. Minivans disgorging kindergartners. And suddenly, an explosion of small humans rushes the doors, bursting into the arcade before scattering every which way. Even before any of them can get tokens, they're grabbing at joysticks, mashing buttons, eager to get their game on or just to pretend to be playing. The crew assumes battle stations, Naomi by the fragile pinball machines, Ashley near the door trying to distract the incoming kids to greet them, Gavin armed with pre-stacked $10 rolls of tokens, quickly exchanging them with the adults, Beats waiting in line at the change machines. As for the pro-gamers, well, Queen Bee and Teo's friends bolt for the exit, abandoning them. Keen on getting out ahead of the surge of kiddies, I guess. That's all very well and good, but I've got no idea where I'm supposed to be. Roaming duty, Gavin said. Look for trouble, Gavin said. I mean, I was doing that before, but now the chaos is multiplied. For a few minutes I'm like a pinball being bounced around, or like that frog trying to cross a highway of traffic. Eventually, I spot 3 possible problems on the rise, and Ari, professional floor attendant, is ready to attend to them. Which one of these should I tackle first, though? I may not be able to deal with all of them in time. Alright, so I am going to save here, just because of the fact that my voice is getting hoarse and it's almost 10. So what I want to do is I want to end things off and find somebody to raid. So let's take a look. Let's see here. Alright, well, Matsu Quinox appears to still be... Well, I don't know how long they're going to be streaming, but let's see. Ooh! Why don't we give a raid to Shellshock Prime? He is right now playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. So we will do that, and on Saturday we are going to continue Arcade Spirits, and we'll find out what happens to Ari Cater after the attack of the 5-year-olds. So, good night unto you all.